Let's talk about some other people being put through some stuff. From Politico. Lawyers bail on MyPillow's Mike Lindell, saying he owes millions in fees. And Mike Lindell is saying he is facing multiple IRS audits. This is what happens when you go up against corruption. There are evil people in government. There have been for a long time. They are working in intelligence agencies. They are abject evil. Their goals are for self-preservation and for self-benefit. And if you exercise your rights as an American, they will do everything they can to destroy you. Don't take my word for it. How about Chuck Schumer's 6 ways from Sundays if you piss them off? Is that the American way? That the intelligence agencies run this country and you have no right, you have no say, and only by their good graces are we allowed to function in society? I reject that.
Yeah, I mean, we know that IRS has a very bad record, especially when it came to going after people for political purposes, especially under the Obama administration, which they were caught red-handed doing. I think it's fair to say that that's exactly what's happening right now to Mike Lindell. And he's not the first one. I think what happened to Alex Jones is the first kind of financial attack and cancellation that is being utilized by the system and establishment to try to bleed out the resources, try to stop any kind of just power and authority from human beings being able just to speak out, just to be able to silence them by taking away all of their money, all of their resources, has been, let's be honest here, somewhat of an effective strategy by the establishment. And it's a scary one because you look at these stories, you're like, am I going to get audited? Am I going to be able to find lawyers? As of course, lawyers are literally being indicted as well. So it's just, I think this is lawfare. I think this is a weaponized DOJ justice system that has been financed and bankrolled by George Soros, who of course is weaponizing district attorneys all throughout the United States. And this is why I think it's important to live in places that actually represent your ideas, not just because of the possibility of this kind of lawfare, but if there's even an incident where you have to defend yourself, you want a jury that actually respects the right of human beings to protect themselves. A lot of democratic places don't have that at all. They have district attorneys that will punish you for just even standing up for yourself, which is crazy. It's mind-boggling.
Yeah. Well, this is also less than 2 weeks after American Express came out and said that they were severely limiting Mike Lindell's credit limit. Yeah. And that's what his business relies on. Like he's making hundreds of millions of dollars a year in revenue and has a very functioning business servicing millions of Americans. So what you're seeing here is weaponization of government and also the weaponization of private enterprise together in tandem to silence someone because of his political views. What's severely ironic about all of this is that the progressive authoritarians in society that conduct this type of madness will accuse us of being fascists, when the actual definition of fascism is an authoritarian government and private enterprise partnering together to stifle the views of political opposition. That's exactly what's happening here. And they want to send a very loud message that if you dare speak up as a business owner or as a politician or as a community leader or as a podcast host or whatever it might be, if you dare speak up, they will weaponize private and public enterprise against you and your values and your family. They're doing it to Rudy Giuliani. I mean, it's absurd what's happening.
I don't know if any of you have met Mike, but Mike is one of the nicest, kindest, and most generous people I've ever met in my life. He's always wants to be helpful. He always tries to build people up. You know, he's been financially impactful on so many lives of conservatives. You know, a lot of conservatives have a hard time finding advertisers, and Mike Lindell was right there to step up. And so not only are they going after Mike, they're going after all of those people that he's supporting. Steve Bannon, one of his big advertisers is MyPillow. If you look at a lot of these podcasters, MyPillow subsidizes a lot of these people.
When there was a boycott on Tucker Carlson, it was Mike Lindell that stepped up and said, I'm going to promote MyPillows on the Tucker Carlson show.
But I mean, at a certain point, people can only have so many pillows, right?
But it's about the principle about
you can build a pillow fort.
She has like 40 pillows on her bed.
But I think it was just so many Americans saw what they were doing to Mike, canceling him because of his political beliefs. And I think that's why Public Square has been such a rocket to the moon, because people want to shop with their values and say, maybe I need 3 pillows or 4 pillows every 3 months now, and just because I want to support Mike Lindell, because this guy sacrificed a lot just because, you know, and so...
Well, he's got towels and bathrobes and slippers and bed sheets. It's not just pillows. I'm just, you know.
Is he on Public Square?
He is. And we're actually, we're becoming close. He's an amazing man. I echo Alex's thoughts. This is a part of a broader theme, too, of canceling advertisers. We saw with Rumble 2 weeks ago in the whole Russell Brand thing, Burger King, HelloFresh, pulling. So something we're trying to do at Public Square, we have 70,000 plus small businesses that all want to advertise in the parallel parallel economy. So now we're trying to push them to creators and say, hey, you've got now creators, a network of advertisers that will not cancel you.
Here's the next thing you do. You're probably already doing it, and you are doing it to a certain extent, is create the back-end portal for social media networking. So then the thing people need to understand about YouTube is that the bulk of the revenue YouTubers get is not from big companies, from small companies. A small diner in a local area with a few thousand people will spend $50 putting out ads so that the videos appear. And then if you're living in this town and you're watching a YouTube video, the commercial you see will be for Lou's Diner down the street. And they're only spending $50. But when you add all of those little diners, the YouTube creator ends up getting a couple grand or something like that. Creating that, there have been a bunch of attempts at this in the past where companies have popped up and said, if you're a YouTuber, sign up, and then we connect you with sponsors that are looking for content or whatever. The only problem is YouTube had automated it.
Yep.
The issue now is advertisers are pulling out of YouTube. Activists are threatening people to try and get advertisers pulled. So I don't know if you guys are if you're already working on it, but if you sign up and you say like, hey, I make content, then you can see people being like, our budget for advertising this month is $25 to $50. Here's what we're looking to promote. And then you basically like accept and then message them. And then boom, now you've got an automated system for people who make content to make money and promote products, build that parallel economy.
It's a brilliant idea because you have literally tens of thousands of businesses across the country that have felt disenfranchised, rejected by Yelp, Google, TripAdvisor. These platforms are no longer built for the interests of small businesses, especially not ones that have conservative leanings. And so they're asking us every day, how do we get more involved in the parallel economy? When they see Bud Light and Target tank, that $30 billion doesn't just eviscerate. It's got to go somewhere. Consumer purchase, right?
Well, I think,
so if you can actually shift the advertising world to be one that's cancel proof, and then the parallel economy can kind of broker all those interactions, it's a very powerful, impenetrable force.
Hey, look, ultra right conservative dad's beer.
Yep.
What did Seth sell? Like $2 million
in 12 hours after the Trump picture.
$500,000 in 12 hours, $1 million within like a day or two, and then he says by the time he closes out, it'll be like $2 million.
Amazing,
man. I just want everybody to listen, okay? Because, a lot of people are like, how do I succeed in life? And you got so many people that are willing to dump thousands of dollars into these get-rich-quick programs where, you'll go to a seminar and a guy's like, I'm going to teach you the secret to success. And here's a dude, Seth Weather's like, Bud Light's nasty, so I'm going to sell beer. Yep. And now he just sold a couple $1 million worth of beer. Yep. So if you're looking what to do, help build the parallel economy. Mm-hmm. Invest in a small business or a product. Do what you can to say F you to the corporations that despise you.
Mike Lindell paved the way.
Yeah.
It's true.
And they hate him for it. There's so many creators that probably would never have been able to get their voices heard if it weren't for Mike. And, Mike's a patriot and we'll pray for him. And it's sick what they're doing to the guy. But another guy's a fighter and he's a man of faith. And so I think he knows he'll get out of this. But they've been putting this guy through hell for 3 years now. Yep.
Well, they did the same to Alex Jones, and
yeah.
Alex Jones is very persistent. He's still able to survive. There's also a lot of lawsuits happening right now against Tucker Carlson. There's another big lawsuit against Elon Musk. So these people are being attacked, I believe, in a coordinated way to try to, of course, stifle any kind of resistance, any kind of speech against the establishment. So I don't think a lot of these incidences are coincidences. I do think there is something top-down happening here.
Are you guys working on any kind of social component? Because we've had people ask us about that.
Yeah, to a degree. The world of social commerce is growing a lot. You even see TikTok starting to play with some commerce ideas, which is a disaster and just a Chinese data mining farm. But that said, we have the desire to get more into the world of connecting people locally to businesses and other consumers, where you can actually follow a local business, get exclusive discounts because you're following local businesses, and be a part of kind of the Cast Brew network, right? So you're a part of a local club essentially that is partnered in loyalty to these different businesses. The other thing that's interesting, and you bring this up, and my encouragement to any young entrepreneurs, people that are fascinated in the parallel economy, over $12 trillion in assets are going to transfer in the next 8 years between the baby baby boomer run businesses down to the next generation. 12 trillion in assets. So we have two options. One is those baby boomer run businesses can either disappear into the ether. That's awful. They can be bought up by Blackstone on the private equity side and transformed against our values, or they can be purchased by patriots and turned into incredible sources for the parallel economy. My recommendation, go on like acquire.com. There are all these sites where these small businesses are up for sale. And if you're good at marketing and you can grow, like you can purchase a business for $20,000 and transform its sales. And now all of a sudden you have this incredible tool to capitalize on the need for Americans to have alternative solutions. Now, you can only really do that if you're genuine. Like you have to actually believe in it. Otherwise...
No, we should hone in on this because throughout human history, it has always been predominantly private enterprise, business and capitalism that has saved people from the woes and problems that the government has started. And I truly do believe that voting with your dollar is way more important than voting every 4 frickin' years. You have a choice. You could support Cast Brew. You could support the WeAreChange.shop. You could support businesses made in America on public street, or you could support the Pope, Rothschild, inclusive capitalism, ESG, BlackRock scams that are screwing you over and literally taking your money and running psychological operations and a war against you in the 5th generation. This is something that I think people need to understand now more than ever. If you're buying Starbucks, if you're buying Netflix, if you're buying from Disney, what are you doing? What money? Where are you putting your energy towards? What are you getting in response to that? Usually seed oils, usually harmful stuff. You could be supporting so many different companies, so many different organizations, and allowing ideas to be sponsored by your energy.
Thanks for watching this clip from the Timcast IRL podcast. Hang out with us live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. and become a member over at timcast.com for uncensored, members-only shows exclusive. Thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you all next time.